Oh yeah, the Master is present. With this phrase, the Buddha, that is being chanted. A book with a pen, that is ahead of its time. Mr. He, a master of mathematics. This is the truth. But very few people can understand it. This previous phrase. 你咪係咪吹風? The 4 characters of advanced etiquette. It is the highest level of Buddhist teachings. It is the Leaf Buddha. It's not about ministers being higher than ministers. He originally is. It doesn't matter whether you understand or not. Even if you don't understand, that's fine, he can still achieve it. So there's no need to discuss the lesser teachings. The profound is the Mahayana scriptures. As long as you stay steady. Trust is valuable. If you believe, be urgent, but stay steady. You truly believe. You genuinely wish to be reborn. You can really hold on to this one. Buddha name. Every year it's this one phrase, Amitabha Buddha. Just chant it directly. Or day and night for 100,000. The last 50,000, 30,000. Based on the certainty of not lacking. Master Vini teaches people. For those with free time, 100,000 a day, then there are no 10,000 gods or 30,000 gods. I was looking for you. At that time, I was probably in my 40s. Living in Taipei. Every month, I go to Fengshan. I go to give talks on sutras for 5 days. Master Zuyan, he requires that I go to Fengshan every month to stay for 5 days. At Fengshan, there's an old layman. He used to be a general. He's retired now. He was probably around 80 years old at that time. His health was quite good. He listened to my explanations and told me. He is an old Buddhist practitioner. He has practiced in a factory. The results are profound. He also practices Pure Land chanting. He told me that now he's old. His intestines and honey can't exert any strength anymore. Now the teacher chants. I asked him how he chants, and he said he does it for 30,000 people every day. Living in the countryside, he walks 30,000 steps in the fields, 1 step at a time. In his lifetime, chanting Omichuofo is also great exercise. It's very good for the body. Walking 30,000 steps every day chanting, 30,000 times, as a method. It's quite difficult. This person should have finished a long time ago. It's been about 40 years, maybe 40 to 50 years. It should be based on a firm decision not to lack anything. This needs to come to an end. We should start from here. It's the clumsiest method, but it's the most effective one. Each other's lives remain unchanged. If one does not attain rebirth, The Buddhas of the three realms do not speak falsely. If a person practices like this, everyone attains rebirth. Called 10,000 practices, 10,000 people go. If one practices like this, with urgent faith and steady commitment, whether it's 100,000 or 150,000 or even 30,000 a day, they will definitely not go. Their life remains unchanged. If they decide not to attain rebirth, then the Buddha will be like a big fish. Then I also struck out with my right hand. You need to reach a state of undistracted focus, with nothing else in mind. You must think until you achieve that undistracted state. There's no other way. At the beginning, you need to use speed. Once you grasp it clearly, the homework in the living room will be flawless, just as mentioned earlier. Monday is for the 10,000 deities and 50,000 and 30,000. You must definitely have prayer beads. Pass the rosary. "108 households. When an average person chants the Buddha's name, they usually chant it 3 times for each bead. So for one full string of beads, that would be 300 chants. Using Sujo to chant the Buddha's name. Everyone's mindset is different. So, there are many methods. Don't get confused by wanting to learn this because you heard that. It'll just mess with your mind. Whatever method you usually use, if it works well, just keep using it. It's important, as mentioned earlier. The decision is in the heart, and the circumstances depend on that decision. We use our true heart. There's no attachment to this world, truly letting go. We need to use this sincere language. Our language is very special. It's already there. That determines the method of our own practice. We don't force others to say anything. We just tell them it's not necessary. Every year is always about Amitabha Buddha. Teacher Lee, the method for practitioners is a very good one, which is to let go of the distractions in the mind and invite Amitabha Buddha into the heart. In the heart, there should only be Amitabha Buddha. Apart from Amitabha Buddha, don't let anything else weigh on your mind. Knowing clearly between good and bad is wisdom. It's about not letting it weigh on your mind. And even less should it be spoken. Not criticizing anything is simply reciting Amitabha Buddha to seek rebirth in the Pure Land. This principle is good. Master Oi. This teaches people to start from the course and progress to the pure, mature over time without being self-absorbed, and then both counting and not counting are easy to achieve. Whether it's about skill or not doesn't matter anymore. Why? Because the practice has matured. This maturity is the finished product. Those who have mastered the craft can easily attain rebirth. He has no attachment to this world and wants to leave early, even giving up his lifespan, seeking Amitabha Buddha to welcome him, and the Buddha is indeed coming. This is really not easy. If you still have things to do, I can stay a few more years. That's called being at ease with life and death. If you want to go, then go. If you want to stay, then stay. Then Liu's decision is not for himself. It is for the righteous path, it is for all beings. And there's also this Dharma language. There are still some things that I must do. No one can replace another. If someone can be replaced, then I won't hold on to them. So, can I just leave? If you are careless, you should speak nicely. If you don't cling to appearances, you should learn to be at ease like the clouds. It's always about having shallow faith and an indifferent heart. Many people chant the Buddha's name but cannot attain rebirth. They still get caught up in the cycle of the six realms. All these flaws, these issues, have been completely laid bare. One must decide to be honest. Only honest people will achieve success. These folks are not honest at all. No, to be honest, the truth, regarding teachings and principles. Beauty is reached. The blood is not deep. Even though there is faith, within that faith there can be doubt. Or there can be delusions within the faith. Faith is not transmitted. If faith isn't shared, one cannot act rightly. Why can't one benefit oneself? There have been too many years of this. It's simply unreasonable. With effort comes strength, and one is very clear about the youth that has been forgotten. This skill should be preserved. With wisdom, one can truly thrive. It means no longer being muddled, no longer being confused. When dealing with others and handling matters, one should be clear and straightforward in their heart. In summary, letting go of all attachments is the true key. Why are there so many wandering thoughts that haven't been released? What should be let go of must be released, and what shouldn't be let go of still needs to be released. Decisions must not obstruct the chanting of Buddha's name. Only the continuous practice of chanting Buddha's name should remain uninterrupted. It's truly powerful. In daily life, one must definitely avoid creating bad relationships with others. This is to recall. No matter how bad things he does, we should be able to forgive him if Amitabha Buddha forgives us. Why can't we forgive? The scriptures are very clear it attracts people's ignorance. It does not abandon morality. If I have more than I want, I will blame him for the number. He is quite pitiful. He hasn't received the education of the wise. He doesn't know about the events that have occurred. Every person who does bad things thinks they are in the right. If he thought it was wrong, he wouldn't do it. It's forgivable. Just don't take it to heart. Let's not delay our own matters. Our own path to the Pure Land is a big deal.